Let there be light, and there was light. So we are exploring, continuing to explore the gods, the characteristics of the gods. So we are now going to look at the Saw God, the Saw God, the God of Saw. Okay, so wow, the God of Sorry. The reason why we are doing this because we are adhering to Mother Eve's calls. She's calling and that we should remember, just to remember. So by exploring the characteristics of the gods, hopefully that will help us remember because we are part, or they are part of our makeup. All the 14 gods are part of our makeup. Or if you want to say 13 gods, because Mother Eve is the umbrella. Or there's another way of looking at it, that your own consciousness, your own realization becomes that 14th god. That's another way of looking at it. Okay. So we have looked at Breathe, the God who breathed. I have not been doing this chronologically, but we are just going with the flow, because that's what Mother Eve is about. Mother Eve flows. This is the serpent. Okay. So there's the other God, the God who moved. Oh, we hadn't done the God who moved, because that's the first God. We have spoken about the God who moved. Let's see if I get a pen that writes better. So the God who moved. It'd be interesting to see how many words we can get from the word moved, because that's what we do to try and really get the characteristics of the gods. Okay. Can you see this? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Okay. All right. So moved. Well, I'd like to say it's got over if the D wasn't complete. So there is that, because everything has in it what you see. So suppose we were to take this off, there would be the word over right here, O-V-E-R. Okay, which it really has because it moved over. Okay. Okay. Let's try this one. So, well, I can't see what other words I can make of this. I really don't. There's D. Well, there's a wonderful word there actually. D-O-V-E. Now, that's the word, the dove, of course, from the story of Noah. Because we understand that it was the dove that God or Noah sent out to see if the water had ceased to rise, or whether it was drying up, or whatever happened. And when the dove did not return, then he knew it was okay, because it would have found a tree or a branch to lay on or to rest upon. And that's how he knew that the water, it was not safe to go out of the ark, because the dove had returned, because it found no place to rest. Okay. So, so there's the dove, yes, and moved. Well, the word move is there. Now, M-O-V-E. Now, it really makes sense that we use the word movies for well, movies are used as the as in the films when Hollywood is casting their acts or their actors. So there are movies, because the first word or the first God that we know, or that is very explicit, although Mother Eve was from the word in the very first word, which is a two-letter word, we can see Mother Eve is very present there, because the I, the letter I and N is 9 and 5, and when we add this together it gives us 14. And so we see that 1 plus 4 equals 5. So we know that Mother Eve was really there, but we had not seen it like this, because here it's not in the word in, it's not really talking about the gods there. It's an introduction happening right there, induction. It's like the course is giving you the highlights of what is to take place or what is happening. But when it says and God moved, we know we are talking about the God of movement right there. So that was the first God of movement that was being spoken of right there. But the God of movement, actually, which reminds me, I didn't do that with the word breathed to see the numerical value for it, which I believe is either 9 or 5. So in case you are following this, we could actually do this very quickly so you can breathe, so you can catch up. So this is 29512854. Okay, so this is 10, this is 20, this is 34, and 2 is 36, so it's 9. I have a good memory. So that would be beginning, okay, because the number 9 is beginning. And then we have moved. Let's do what moved is. So this is 4, 6, 4, 5, 9. And when we add these together, of course, it's 5 letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And moved would be, I think, 7 letters. Breathed, rather. It's just interesting to see, but perhaps not now. Okay. This is 10. This would be 28. That's correct. 10, 19, 28. So 2 plus 8 is 10. So the God of movement there, which is the first God we are talking about here, we can see this is complete balance in a sense that it equals 10, which is male and female. So we had been presented the polarities from the onset of the God's introduction here. We had the opposites, male, female, up, down, in, out, and all solid and liquid, we could say, and the different opposites were presented right there. So again, if we were to look at this from here, we would see that the story of Adam and Eve given as if it were the first scene was really not coinciding with the reality of even what is written here, because we are the result of the experiment. That was a new phase, and that would be another 8th phase, like we are moving into right now. We are ending a 7,000-year cycle and moving into the 8th cycle, which is a 7-year cycle. So basically it would be a demarcation of that sort of thing, that which we are the result of. And so we are going into what we are, or we are displaying, or the template is wired in us to be as such, that we would move in these phases, and because we were created in those phases. So hence we have the word moved, and of course we see that it equals 10. 10, of course, is the heaven. 10 is spirit. The word spirit also equals spirit here. So this is 299971. So this is 20, 37. 3 plus 7 is 10. Okay, so we can see from the first thing when we hear about the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the deep or the face of the waters, we are talking about the two that from that first, the Spirit itself had already had its polarities in it. The Spirit already had both male and female, both good and bad, or good and evil, or however you want to look at it. The Spirit had all those things even before it was moved, because the Spirit was implicit spirit. Or so that was always that was balance. And so by the Spirit, when it moved, which is also 10, so it was really behaving after its kind. It was bearing seeds after its kind, so to speak, by the word moved. Okay, so we have the word move, and we have the word dove, and we have the word oven. I was going to say oven because the M has two ends. It's of two ends. So, but we won't make this. We'll try and keep this simple. But I do look at the words like that because I can see that whatever that it consists is actually part of the meaning of the gods in this case. So there would be an oven right there. In the word moved, in that oven, so to speak, an oven is that which gets hot and it has heat, so, or has different temperatures. So we could say that in that word moved, there would be temperature as well, because of course movement creates heat as well, or it ignites that as well. Okay. Hence, when something is not moving, it's solid, or it's seen as ice, or water being still could seem as ice. Okay, and so I haven't been able to make out more words from this, and I'm sure there is something. DEM, dome. There is dome. 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 Yes, that's correct. DOME. Oh, I'm very proud of myself getting this. And we have the word me as well. And we have the word do as well. Oh, this is becoming, we have the mantra Yes, we have again there would be the word one, ONE, but just to keep it simple, I'm not going into that right now, but we can see that it consists of those. So we have me, we have do, we have dome, yes, and so this is where we have the kingdoms. So often we would think about, people say you shouldn't say me, but the word me actually is 9, which is 5. 4 plus 5, it equals 9. So when you are talking about me, you are drawing on, each time you say me, you are drawing on the energy of newness. You are drawing on, you are calling on newness. Yeah. And followed by whatever it is, that's another story, but that is something to explore. Yes, so DEV, okay, dove, okay, we've got this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We won't use the here, or yeah. but we have 5 letters from here, and it has 5 letters and 5 words. So we have 5 words and 5 letters, and we can see that coincides with that 10. Now because it's not to say that there are not other words from there, but we are working intuitively, and that's what intuition does. Its purpose is to serve us in the moment, and being present. Okay. So just for the fun of it, we can have the numerical values for these letters and see what they offer. So there we have, this is the dove, and we can see why the dove was sent as well, which is 4 plus 6 is 10, plus 9 is 19, so that would be 10. So it's just like the word moved as well. So the dove, and that's why the dove was the correct creature that would to be able, apart from having its wings, but it was balanced in its perception, if you like. So it would come and give, it would be true. It was perfect, just as the word perfect also equals 10. When we do the numerical value for the word perfect, it equals 10. So that would be, we can see why Noah sent the dove out. Now here we have move. So again, that would be 4, 6, 4, 5. So this is really the same value again, 10. And the word dome is 4, 6, 4, 5 as well. This is really interesting. Wow. 4, 6, 4, 5 as well. Okay, so this is the same, 10. And me, as I did, was 9. And do is 10. This is 4, this is 6. So this is 10. So perhaps it's in this context that many people don't like when people talk about me, me, me. So because the 10, we have 10, 10, 10, 10. This is perfect here in that balance. But 9 is the beginning. Whether you were beginning with what seemed positive, negative, or whatever it is, here in the me, it would eventually, it is a start point to helping you find yourself. You would know where to be after a while. Of course, is 10 as well. If we were to take that in consideration, it's 6 and 4 is 10. So we can see why it is a perfect mantra in this sense. So the mantra is 10. So that tells us, like I hadn't done all this, but I was in consultation with Mother Eve and realized that we could use the word 10 even as saying 10. The sound of 10, and knowing that we hold in the vibration of 10, we can use 10 as a mantra. I do that sometimes. Okay. So we can see all of these here were very significant in that it's a new era, just like Noah was moving into a new day. So the dove, he would be sending out the dove, and the dove not returning would let him know that this is a new day. So they were starting with new objectives, newness, the male and female, the black and white, the up and down, and so on. So that's why in the word moved, because of course that's what it was with Noah. They had to move all the cattle and animals into the ark, 2 by 2 or 7 by, some were in 7s as well. But we have seen that the word 7 and 2 is really very much interrelated, because when we do the numerical value for the word 7, so he was meant to go into the 2 by 2s, but doing the 7, S-E-V-E-N, which also had Eve in there. And these are the things that are there to help us go through the stories of the Bible, so we can see that it's all about Eve in the end. It's all about Mother Eve. it's getting back to Mother Eve. Then you take the animals in by twos. So two, we have male, female, you could say. But if we did the word two, it also meant that it gives us, here we have 11, 12, 13. 13 would be that incubator again, which is where we start. Then the 13, of course, becomes the beehive. This is where the new agreements are done. And that coincides with the beehive right here. This is the letter B that we are talking about, where agreements could be formed. So when we do the numerical value for the word 7, which is 1, 5, 2, this is the 2 we are talking right here. So we can see is really one and the same as 7. And this is why we first I saw that there were 2 gods in Genesis of chapter. That's what I felt were just 2 gods, but then we have seen that there are really 14 gods, and that 14 gods come in the sets of 2 sevens. Okay, so we have looked at the word moved, so that's the God of movement. I hope you have got this. And so anytime we are is the God who moved. So when we move, we know we are doing life. We are doing masculine and feminine. We are at liberty to really stir this into whatever direction. Whenever we are moving, we are moving with spirit. Spirit is involved in our movement. And so it is really getting to understand the characteristics of the God. Let there be light, and there was light.